Welcome to Unity North Spiritual Center. We are in Coon Rapids, Minnesota, for those of you who are online, and we're glad you're all here. We are an inclusive community. We welcome and accept all people. So whoever you are on your spiritual path, we're glad you're with us and you're welcome here. And we're also part of a greater worldwide unity movement with the publishers of the Daily Word magazine. And we've been holding 133 years of prayer vigil through Silent Unity, the prayer ministry of the Unity movement. So prayer is the heart and soul of unity. And every Sunday after service, we have a prayer chaplain available to pray with you. And our prayer chaplain today is Wendy. She's here in person today. You want to wave, Wendy? And wave to the camera too. Camera's up there on the top of the back row. And anyway, her phone number will show up on the chat and in announcements for anybody who wants to just give her a call right after service. But if you're here in person, she can meet with you in person as well. So take that opportunity, whether you have a deep prayer need or whether you just want to connect in prayer for the world, for that matter. All right, thank you, Wendy. And today our producers are Nancy Helvig and Martha Burkhart. And our worship assistant is Nola Bean. And we're so happy to have Braden Canfield back with us. It's been a few months, and in the meantime, he's retired from his long career as a teacher. So congratulations and welcome, Braden. And then before we do our opening song, we always speak our vision and mission statements together. So go up here. There we go. So let's speak our vision together. Centered in prayer, we create for all a world of love, harmony, and abundance. And our mission statement is celebrating spirit, exploring truths, awakening hearts, inspiring dreams, serving community. And then our values you can see at the bottom of the screen. Those are our core beliefs here at Unity North. And with that, I invite you all to stand for our opening song.
Shout out to Jim Shatower, a friend of mine who actually wrote this song. He's a pro. It's called How Do I Love the Earth? And for you to sing along, you just have to, for the verse, say whatever I say or sing whatever I sing. I'll do it a little bit with you. And then there's a chorus that if you pick up on, you can. If not, I'll sing it for you. It goes like this. How do I love the earth? How do I love the earth? How do I show I care? How do I show I care? How do I love the earth? How do I love the earth? How do I show I care? Love somebody next to you. Let somebody love you too. Treat other people like you want them to treat you. Take only what you need. Let go of any greed. That's how you love the earth. How do I love someone? How do I show I care? How do I love someone? How do I show I care? Love somebody next to you. Let somebody love you too. Treat other people like you want them to treat you. Take only what you need. Let go of any greed. That's how you love someone. How do I love myself? Love myself. How do do I love myself? How do I love myself? How do I show I care? How do I show I care? Love somebody next to you. Let somebody love you too. Treat other people like you want them to treat you. Take only what you need. Let go of any greed. That's how you love yourself. That's how you love someone. That's how you love the earth.
My name is Noel Levine. Welcome to Unity's Sunday service. This is the time in the service when we greet one another. So take a minute and to wave to each other. I see we have some guests. For you who are in person, yeah, wave up to the camera too if you can. Okay, I see there's several faces I haven't seen before. Would you care to introduce yourselves? Hi, Amy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we hope you enjoy yourselves. And guy from Minnesota. Okay, we're glad you're here today. And are you guys first timers? Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. Now we will take a moment for prayer requests, but I want you to also consider Reverend Kathy's having hip surgery in a couple weeks, 2 days from tomorrow. So 2 weeks from tomorrow, yes, 2 weeks. So keep her in your prayers, please. And any prayers you have for other people or for yourself or whatever, pray. Say it, the name silently to yourself, or if you're on Zoom, you can say it aloud as long as you get your mic off. So we'll take a minute to pray. We give thanks in advance for these prayers, and we say, thank you, Mother, Father, God. And so it is. Amen. Let us stay centered and still for the daily word. Today, the daily word is wonder. I view my life through eyes of wonder. I feel inspired watching a young child discovering new things, eyes wide with awe and wonder. Even the smallest experiences, feeling the tickle of a butterfly on the skin or blowing the seeds of a dandelion, are a marvel and a joy. I think of this when disappointing life experiences chip away at my sense of awe and appreciation. Today, I let go of disillusionment and opened my heart and my eyes to once again live in wonder. As I view life anew, I renew my belief in the goodness of life and of all people. I open myself to the unexpected treasures happening all around me each day. Wonder is a precious gift, and one I use to appreciate the marvels unfolding before me. From Acts chapter 3, verse 10, they were filled with wonder and amazement at what had happened to him. And now Brady will play us a song to prepare us for meditation.
loving kindness, may I know the peace of God. May I be filled with loving kindness, may I know the peace of God. May my body know the strength and calm to carry me lightly on my way. May my mind know the still and empty place that allows my soul to stay within. May I be filled with loving kindness, may I know the peace of God. And may my lover know the fire of her dreams and the gentle touch of grace. May our daughters and our sons be known to God. May they recognize God's face within. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they know the peace of God. All my relations, mitake o asai, may they hear us when we call. And all creation, fin and feather, leaf and skin, as the circle closes all within, may we be filled with loving kindness, may we know the peace of God. May we be filled with loving kindness, may we know the peace of God.
I invite you now to sit back and close your eyes for meditation. Just find a comfortable position, uncrossing your arms and legs. And just feeling a wave of relaxation move from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Taking some deep breaths and saying to yourself, I am completely and fully relaxed. And allow me to speak the words for you, taking them in as your own. I release and let go of stress, any upset thoughts or feelings of fear or worry or concern. I refuse to get caught up in negative news of the day. I am centered in peace and compassion. It is my nature to be kind. Divine love is inherent within me, part of my spiritual identity. Opportunities abound to be kind. And I hold that intention today and going forward. Ideas will fill my mind, perhaps as a nudge to call a neighbor or a family member, send a note, extend a smile, or give a compliment. Practicing kindness includes sharing my gifts and talents in ways that allow me to express myself by giving of myself. So I take a moment in the silence now and just ask, what act of kindness can I take this day, this week? I welcome ideas about ways to show kindness. I continue to call upon my higher self to guide and direct me in the ways of kindness and compassion. The more I practice kindness, the more easily it becomes the song of my heart and my way of life. I am love in action, sharing loving acts of kindness. And so it is. Amen.
Manhattan or Dakar makes no difference where you are. Doesn't matter what you think, or if you smoke, or if you drink. You're a thread upon the loom when the spirit walks in the room. You could be naked, you could be armed, you could be charming, you could be charmed. You could be open, you could be closed, be one of us or one of those. You're a thread upon the loom when the spirit walks in the room. On the march or on the run, it matters not what you have done, nor what you'll do, or what you'll say. We play the role we're made to play. We're but threads upon the loom when the spirit walks in the room. when it comes in power. You may not walk, you may not see, but you'll become what you can be. You're a thread upon the loom when the Spirit walks in the room. We're but threads upon the loom when the Spirit walks in the room.
Beautiful, Braden. Thank you. Well, a woman named Stacy went into a consignment shop, and there she found a dress that seemed like it would be just perfect for her granddaughter. The money was tight, so she asked the store owner if she would hold it for her. And just then a woman came from the side and said, "May I please buy the dress for you?" And Stacy graciously refused and said, "I can't take that." And the woman said, "Please, really, here's why I would like to." And then told her how she had been homeless for 3 years. And she said, "During that time, I would not have survived if it had not been for the kindness of strangers. And so please, I made a promise to myself that I would give back when I was able to do so, and now I am." And so the only thing that the woman would receive in response to the gift was a heartfelt hug. So a beautiful gift of kindness. Kindness is more than a behavior. The art of kindness means harboring a spirit of helpfulness, as well as being generous and considerate, and doing so without expecting anything in return. Kindness is a quality of being. The act of giving kindness often is simple, free, positive, and healthy. It has been shown to increase self-esteem, empathy, and compassion, and improve mood. It's also great for the body. It can decrease blood pressure and cortisol, a stress hormone, which directly impacts stress levels. So if you've been feeling stressed lately, go do something kind for someone. It's a wonderful remedy for stress. People who give of themselves in a balanced way also tend to be healthier and to live longer, possibly because kindness can increase our sense of connectivity with others, which can directly impact loneliness, improve low mood, and enhance relationships in general. It's also contagious. Looking for ways to show kindness can give us a focused activity, especially if we tend to be anxious or stressed in social situations. So here's an example of some contagion of giving, which took place on social media. A headline reads, "Mom Crossing Guard receives $50,000 at Tigers game following viral TikTok post." For no other reason than that she was a working mom with a great personality and an important job making sure people drive safely through the city of Detroit. A traffic control officer was recently on the receiving end of the goodness that social media can wield. It started when TikTok account MD Motivators interviewed Lanita Edge on duty in the middle of the road, yabbing as she does with people who pass by every day and wishing them a happy Mother's Day. And she revealed in the video, which went viral, that she felt it was an important service to the city to help people get where they need to go and to get home safely. She explained she was born and raised in the Motor City and was a Tigers fan. Well, in that first video, Lanita Edge was surprised when the TikToker Zachary invited her to the Tigers game for Mother's Day. Well, the working mom recently lost her husband, and she asked him if the invitation was reliant on the fruits of her paycheck, at which point Zachary surprised her with $500. So meanwhile, Zachary had secretly set up a crowdfunding campaign that amassed $50,000, a gift simply for being her fine self, that was delivered on the grass in the Tigers ballpark. Her son and Detroit Tigers catcher, Jake Rogers, handed her the check. It was like a movie. It was beautiful. I felt blessed to be able to just witness it. Zachary told ABC7 Detroit, all I'm doing is showcasing who she is as an individual, and the people of Detroit have watched the video and donated an additional $50,000, he said. People online came together and created this. And Lanita said, God uses wonderful people every day, explaining she was at a complete loss for words. I didn't know this man. God used him to be a blessing to me. I couldn't thank him enough. I couldn't give God thanks enough. Now 9 million social media views later, and dozens of people stop along the crosswalk to say hello, to congratulate her, or to wish her well. Kindness is contagious. Physiologically, kindness can positively change our brain. Being kind boosts serotonin and dopamine, which are neurotransmitters in the brain that give one feelings of satisfaction and well-being, and cause the pleasure reward centers in our brain to light up. Endorphins, which are our body's natural painkiller, also can be released. And this applies to all kinds of kindness, even when it includes being kind to members of the animal kingdom. So Flo is a devoted cow who has had several calves in this lifetime so far, but this next newborn was different. Flo gave birth too close to a fence that separated her pasture from a very busy highway. And the slope of the ground and the space underneath the fence wires made it just right for a slippery newborn to slide right underneath the fence. And Flo and her baby had a real problem because the fence was electrified. In order to prevent cows from wandering over to the highway, and also to prevent predators like coyotes from devouring young calves. So Flo could not reach her newborn, as the newborn just lay still in the grass. Well, a nearby motorist who paid a lot of attention to the cows came by not too long after the birth. And every time he'd drive by, he'd look at the cows, and he was studying this particular herd. He was particularly interested in it because it was a time of year when calves were being born. And so he got out and he was standing in the sun, and he was watching the cows in the pond, and he noticed that this cow Flo was very distraught. So he set his camera on the fence and turned it on as he started walking for the cows. And as he got up to Flo, he didn't know much about cows, but he knew she was very distraught. And then he noticed the calf. And he realized he had to take immediate action. The farmer lived up at the top of the hill, but he noticed the truck was gone. So he started to move the calf. What he didn't know was that the fence was live, and he got several large shocks himself. But as he finally kept pushing, he got the calf under the fence and reunited Flo and her baby just in time for that first milk feed where all of the colostrum comes and provides the baby with wonderful, the ability to, for her immune system to work well. So it was a wonderful reunion, and Flo had been mooing all the way through it. And because the calf had received a few shocks himself, he was known as Sparky from that day forward. Later that day, as Dave walked over, that was his name, to see how Sparky was doing, the baby peeled off from the herd, come give the man a sniff and a soulful look. So just how important is kindness? In a study of 37 cultures around the world, 16,000 subjects were asked about their most desired traits in a mate. For both sexes, the first choice is kindness. Acclaimed psychologists John and Julie Gottman gathered data on successful marriages for decades and found that kindness is essential to a lasting union. And kindness begins with caring, being tender-hearted, being compassionate. The Greek word for kind is Christos, meaning useful. And this means kindness involves action. Truly kind people will actively look for opportunities to show that kindness. So whether it's paying for someone's coffee at the drive-thru behind them or writing a note of encouragement to a friend, kindness requires action. Well, Shelley Golay writes, my neighbors Jay and Treva had been the best since we moved in. And when my husband Jim got brain cancer, they helped in amazing ways. They did all of the yard work. They did the snow removal. And when my husband passed away, they did everything for me. They brought me meals. They continued with the yard work and the snow removal. They moved my garbage can back in when I would forget. And even now, if they don't see me outside or see me around, they text me and ask me if I'm okay and make sure I'm not too down. And so I know that no matter what happens, they will always be there for me. Great kind of neighbors to have. So kindness enhances also the release of oxytocin in interactions where two or more people are engaged in kindness behavior. In turn, bonds between those who are kind to one another are strengthened. The Dalai Lama said, be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. Jamie Bowen writes, while going through a divorce, my mother fretted over her new worries, like no paycheck and same old bills and no way to pay for groceries. But during that time, somebody left a box of groceries on the step outside every single morning for months until she got a job and got her own paycheck. And he said, we never did figure out who left the groceries, but they were a lifesaver. So it's not just how we treat other people, it's how we extend those same behaviors and intentions to ourselves as well. You know, I believe we can be kinder in our own self-talk and practice self-gratitude. People are good at verbally beating themselves up, and rarely does that work as a pep talk. Rather, negativity often causes us to unravel and may even create a vicious cycle of regularly getting down on ourselves. So we would not talk to our neighbor the way we sometimes talk to ourselves. Try the good neighbor policy. If you would not say it to your good neighbor, do not say it about yourself. So how might our lives and our communities be transformed if we intentionally turn toward ourselves with kindness each day in an attempt to relieve our own suffering, choosing to rest rather than push through, offering ourselves forgiveness for a mistake made, or responding with a gentleness to the heaviness, fear, anxiety, or sadness we feel. So look for opportunities to be kind and count your acts of kindness. You'll experience the rewards almost immediately. One act of small kindness can release an enormous chain of positive events. Well, Miranda McLean said, my neighbor, James, was trying to decide whether to retire from the construction field. And one day he ran into an old friend, a man he had worked with, a young man who had a wife and 3 children. And that man was really struggling. They were all struggling to make ends meet because he had not been able to find employment for a long time. So the very next day, James went down to the union and turned in his retirement papers. And with that, gave a recommendation for the young man. That was 6 years ago. And that young father and husband is still employed there. So kindness is the first of the 3 great treasures advocated by Lao Tzu. The Buddha taught that generosity is a primary quality of an awakened mind. Muhammad regarded kindness as an essential sign of faith. And Jewish and Christian ethics are built upon deeds of kindness, as are the daily interactions of people of primal traditions. The spiritual practice of kindness encompasses a range of small acts and habits that we know as old-fashioned good manners, saying please and thank you, waiting your turn, lending a helping hand, or cheering someone up with a smile. It applies not just to your relationships with other people. Etiquette in the spiritual life also extends to things, animals, plants, and the earth. So this practice also means being generous with your presence, your time, and your money. Give freely without expecting anything in return. Just do it. So remember Jesus' story of the Good Samaritan. A man was set upon robbers and beaten and robbed and left for dead. Remember, a priest walked by and saw him and went by on the other side of the road. And then a Levite came along and also went by on the other side. But finally, a Samaritan came and washed his wounds and bound them up, gave him wine for his thirst, took him to a room where he could rest, and paid the innkeeper to take care of him, and said to the innkeeper, when I return, I will give you more. Please see that he is well. And so this kind of incredible compassion is what we're called to do and to express. And the thing about this story that is so amazing is that it was the Samaritan who helped. And in those days, the Samaritans were like the untouchables in that society. They were the outcasts. So the heads of the priest, the Levite, they passed by, considering him unclean. But the Samaritan, he is the one who helped. Kindness is not a quid pro quo endeavor. Cindy Earles said, when my friend and I were injured in a car accident, a family from out of state came. And when they saw we were injured, they took us to the hospital. And then they waited with us until we were released. They took us home and bought us food and fixed it for us. And they made sure we were settled in and we were okay before they left. And they took part of their vacation to do this. Well, children can be taught kindness at a very early age. Those studies have shown that kindness is innate to our species. And here are 2 examples. A mother writes, children were playing at the reception area of an IKEA store when my 5-year-old granddaughter motioned for a small boy to stop. She knelt down before him and retied his flopping shoelaces. She'd only just learned to tie her own. No words were spoken, but after she finished, both smiled shyly, then turned to race off in different directions. Zena Hamilton tells a story about herself as a child. She said, when I was 7, my family drove to the Grand Canyon. And at one point, my favorite blanket flew out the window and was gone. I was devastated. Soon after, we stopped at a service station, and moping, I found a bench and was about to eat my sandwich when a biker gang pulled into the station. Is that your blue Ford? A huge, frightening man with a gray and black beard asked. Mom nodded reticently. The man pulled my blanket from his jacket pocket and handed it to her. He then returned to his motorcycle. I repaid him the only way I knew how. I ran up to him and gave him my sandwich. Well, simply asking, how am I going to practice kindness today can be helpful. This positive focus is like planting positive seeds in your mind garden, because where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So I have one last story to share today. An example of kindness to animals, an Englishman created a wildlife area at the bottom of his garden to boost his nature photography. And that's where he first found 2 families of mice. They now have their own adorable handcrafted homes, and they are hand-fed flowers each day, and they even have their own pub. So he has named the 2 families. The honeysuckle family, they live in the log pile, while the bramble family live near the brambles in a stone wall. It's a bit of an obsession, he admits. I made little houses converted from nest boxes for them. I comment on them and talk to the mice all the time. I've had a few emails saying the mice have helped people through hard times. People say it's uplifting and makes them smile. Actually, you can see this guy on YouTube. Just go to Englishman building houses for mice. And it's really fun to watch him. He chuckles all the way through while he's talking to them. He gets the biggest kick out of these mice. And in a minute, I'll show you a couple of their houses. So ask yourself, in what ways can I show kindness today? Let us join with those countering unkindness on the planet. Through our acts of kindness, we shine divine light and love in the world. Thank you. God bless you.
This is another Jim Shattower song. So many colors, yet one light. So many stars and yet one night. So many people coming from the gift of birth. So many planets, yet one earth. So many branches, yet one tree. So many rivers, yet one sea. So many ways to see the light shine from above. So many hearts, and yet one love. So many voices, yet one song. So many choices, yet none wrong. So many grains of sand make up the ocean shore. In every shell the oceans roar. So many colors, yet one light. So many stars and yet one night. So many people coming from the gift of birth. So many planets, yet one earth.
Thank you, Brady. Beautiful music. This is the time in the service when we bless our offerings. If you join with me. Divine love flowing through me now blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Here, there's a basket in the back of the room. Otherwise, you can make a donation on our website, and that's where the QR code is there. Now, Brady will play us a song of thanks.
Those of you who know it can sing it. My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes. And again, my gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes.
There's a lot of announcements. First of all, once again, remind you that Wendy Erickson is the prayer chaplain today, and there's her phone number. And she's in the room here, so if you want a personal prayer time, that's available. We have a special, well, I should also mention, yes, if you want to have a prayer request said aloud, you can go to our website, and it gives you the place on the website there, prayer requests. Fill out a form, mark share, and we will must receive the requests by 5 p.m. on Friday, and then we can announce it that Sunday. There's a special fund that has reached over $8,000, and we want everyone to affirm that we reach or exceed our $10,000 goal by August 31st. Thank you for all your generosity. We give thanks in advance for our goal achieved. Like I mentioned earlier, Reverend Kathy is going to be having hip surgery. So on August 13th, Reverend Barbara Winter Martin will be the person giving us a Sunday lesson. On August 20th, it'll be Reverend Lori Brandt. And on August 27th, Ron Italiano. And then on September 3rd, Reverend Lori Brandt will again give us a Sunday lesson. One thing that was forgotten on the slides, that hasn't come up, I guess, is a movie night is on Saturday, August 26th at 6 p.m. The movie is the live-action Aladdin. That should also be on the website. And there are new classes coming up. First of all, From Stress to Resilience and Creativity with Carl Schlotterbeck. He's a licensed counselor and a good teacher, very nice personality. Wednesday, August 9th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. on Zoom. It looks like this is a one-time event to learn to overcome your stress with resilience and creativity. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in our world now, and a lot of anxiety as a result. So this is a good time to have Carl's lessons of restoring powerful tools that restore balance and resilience, along with the science behind them. That's important. And then the other class is going to be on August 16th and 23rd, taught by Carol Niskern. Are trust and well-being still possible? So 2 Wednesday evenings. It will be also live, or it's just going to be live in person at Unity North Spiritual Center. We have to come to this place. It's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Delve into the meanings of nuances of both trust and well-being. Go to the website and read that entire script there. There's a registration link also that's given, and you can register. These classes are usually like a love offering. You make a donation. You can make that at any time after the class, before the class, and up until when the class ends. And then, of course, Carl Schlotterbeck is really good at teaching shamanism, and he's going to have he does this once a year, and it's in late August, early September, and it's the foundations of shamanic practices. He uses more or less a Celtic background, but he does borrow from other indigenous groups as well. Well, the ancient practices and perspectives of shamanism offer our modern, fast-paced, technology-heavy world many gifts. Many gifts. It's another way that some people like to connect with the spirit that way. So later, Carl will offer 2 shamanic series called Restoring the Sacred and Shamanic Astrology. If you register before Friday, August 25th, you'll get the preparatory material. And the registration is also on our website. Now Reverend Kathy will make a blessing.
The next slide is our affirmation, and let's speak this together with feeling. Centered in prayerful intention, we give thanks for an overflowing abundance, spiritual awakening, prosperity, new members, and children for Unity North Spiritual Center. And so it is. I just want to thank everybody for today. Thank you to our producers, Martha and Nancy. Give them a hand. And to Noel, wonderful as always. And special thank you to Braden. So glad to have you back. Wonderful musician. All right, and with that, I invite you to stand as we say our prayer for protection and then sing our peace song. Together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our creator, family
And these are the little mouse houses. That's adorable.